What does it mean when people say that we should learn to enjoy the journey? For some reason, I always thought that that meant we needed to learn to deal with the sucky parts and even learn to enjoy the difficult things we have to do. We basically grin and bear through the journey and remind ourselves that things could be much, much worse. But what if enjoying the journey was not about dealing with, appeasing, or otherwise minimizing the hard stuff? What if enjoying the journey was all about creating more reasons to celebrate? Hey friend, today let's dive into the topic of celebration, why it's important, and how we can incorporate more of it into our daily routines. So grab your favorite hub beverage, a blanket, and let's talk about this. First of all, this topic choice is based on a realization I had a few days ago. You know how sometimes you think you understand something intellectually, and then one day out of nowhere you just get it viscerally? And this new realization takes your knowing to a whole new level. So here's the whole idea: celebrating more often makes our lives more fun. And you might say, obviously, but let's break that down. I am not talking about setting bigger, more ambitious goals so you can deserve the right to celebrate at some point in the future. Let's flip that around and find more reasons to celebrate right now. The plan here is to celebrate more of the things that are already happening. See, I'm the kind of person who's a little bit hooked on striving and struggling. I tend to set goals, struggle my way to achieving them, and then I never really get to enjoy the accomplishments. Instead, I just set new, more ambitious goals and just start all over again. I suspect that the people who find me on YouTube and gravitate towards my content have similar tendencies of constantly seeking achievements as a way to earn the right to be happy. But the problem is that because we are so hooked on achievements, we tend to move the goalpost constantly. So, what I'm suggesting you do is that you take a look at the goals you've already set for yourself and you break them into as many tiny milestones as you can. And then you commit to savoring and celebrating every single achievement along the way. And wouldn't that just be the definition of enjoying the journey? If you quickly Google the benefits of celebrating often, you'll see that it increases your resilience, it makes you more optimistic, it makes you more likely to go after things, all of these positive things. And those are all valid reasons to celebrate more. But here's the kicker: everything else being equal, feeling good about yourself makes your day to day feel much easier. So if we assume that your circumstances are set and cannot be changed, I mean, that is not true, but humor me for a second. Assuming that the sucky parts will continue to suck and you still have to do what you have to do to maintain your life, the key differentiator can be how you feel while you're going through all of the stuff. Think about this. When you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, an average day can feel like a total drag. It can feel like the suckiest experience because you started off feeling awful. But when you wake up feeling amazing, well rested, optimistic, inspired, even a mediocre day can feel pretty good. So, without even trying to change anything outside of yourself, you could drastically change your experience of your day. Now, imagine how much more impactful feeling good can be knowing that you actually have the power to change your circumstances. The key to celebrating well is that it has to be intentional. I hate to say it, but it almost has to be pre planned. Here's an example. Have you ever had a work deadline that took up all your time, all your mental energy, and while you were slugging your way towards the deadline, you kept thinking, I just have to make it till Friday or whenever it's due, and after that, things will be easier. So then Friday comes and you deliver the project or the report or whatever it is that you were working on, but you had not planned what to do to celebrate. Let's say you're turning your report at noon, you spend the rest of your afternoon just like any other day, and it doesn't really feel like a celebration. What if while you're in the thick of it, working on your project, you spent some time thinking about how you would like to celebrate completing it? Maybe you book a massage that Friday afternoon, or you just take the afternoon off and go do something that really truly recharges you. By planning your celebration ahead of time, first of all, you give yourself something to look forward to. But then when you actually deliver on your project, you don't have to sit and think about what you want to do. It's already planned. You just have to follow through. And I realize this sounds very much like giving yourself a reward for completing the work. And I think that's a fair comparison. I hesitate to use the word reward because it almost sounds like a material thing, right? You don't have to reward yourself by spending money necessarily. How you celebrate is up to you. But making it a point to stop and savor that you've accomplished something big is really the missing piece. I personally find that I always mean to reward myself, but I never take the time to plan that celebration, and so it never happens. It ends up being just another day where nothing major happens. So think about all the celebration opportunities that you have completely missed out on. Because the truth is, you have come a long way, and you accomplish way more than you give yourself credit for. If you look back at where you started, I'm sure you will see so many things you could have celebrated along the way. This really aligns well with another idea I've been sharing for a while. If you've seen any of my other videos, you probably heard me talk about keeping a list of accomplishments as you go. I believe a lot of us want to be witnessed and recognized for our efforts, but we often turn to others for validation. By celebrating more of your accomplishments, you are witnessing yourself. You are giving yourself the recognition that you so crave from the outside world, and you are building a record of your own awesomeness. You are collecting evidence that you can do difficult things and you can show up for yourself and you can succeed and you can overcome difficulties. And all else being equal, doesn't that feel so much better? So your key takeaways from this video should be: number one, to identify all the opportunities to celebrate in the near future. Number two, figure out what kind of celebration feels truly meaningful to you. Celebrating by splurging is a valid option. You know what? Treat yourself. But if you start celebrating as often as I encourage you to, which is weekly and hopefully even daily, then you may find that spending money loses its charm after a while. So think about multiple other ways that you can feel rewarded. Personally, the thing I never seem to have enough of is time for myself. So a great way for me to celebrate is to carve out some time just for me. And number three, be intentional about actually celebrating when you accomplish things. I hope you'll join me in adding more celebration to our lives. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.